Hello, fellow enjoyers of the AFL. It's Matsa here. This feels good to say. I'm back with another Supercoach video. So, team pick is here. Let's have a look at some of the value picks. So, I'm sure heaps of you guys will have heard these names, but I want to kind of go into the data of why they are value picks. Now, I've got a little list here of players, and I'm going to show you what they're priced to average and what they could potentially average. So, just to sort of show how, they are value. And the first player on the list, one that I really like, and it's Philipou. We'll just add him to the list there because why not? We're going to scroll down to 313k. So he's priced to average 58. All right. So 58 as his priced average. Now let's go and have a look at what he could potentially average. This year they're talking about a full season in the midfield. And last year, if we look at these 3 games in particular were CBA games. It says 99. Last game, he didn't have CBAs. It's still a 94 average. So I think this is a lot to ask for. That is a lot to ask for. But you know what? Because this is potential, we're just going to write it in as 99, right? Just as a potential thing, right? Now, if we look at the forwards, right? 99 is the top average, and that's Mr. Horn Francis. So and that's an extra 530. That's 537. You know what? Let's add that to this as well. So 313k is his current price, and 537k is the potential. And that's. I'm not saying that this is what he's going to average, but you know what? There's stranger things that have happened. If we drop it down even 10 points to 89, right? It's still value. He'd still go up to, 460, 470 sort of K. So anyway, there's a first one there. Mattaes Philipou. He's one that I'm really keen on, especially, if he does get that role, he's prime for the picking. Next player on my list there, Tom de Koning. He's priced to average a 101. Excuse me. So a 101 there at 547k. So with him, he had that little patch last year. There he is. Well, that was a name there, Tom Derricks. Wow, that's a throwback. Anyway, we're going to click into Tom de Koning. Have a little look at the period of the year where he just became a monster. He really just became a monster. So, that game, he was a sub. I remember that. That was very weird. He came on as a sub. We'll go to his high CBA games. So over 70, go over 70%. And that was the whole year. 117, so that's pretty good. There was a particular part of the year, this part of the year, those 5 rounds where he went 144. Now, he's not going to do that. That's not possible. And plus, you look at the games, it's like, Essendon, relatively easy ruck battle. Geelong, easy ruck. What was the other ones? Oh, so that wasn't Essendon, that was GWS. So you know what? 128 against what's his name? Briggsy's a good effort, actually. So Geelong, easy. Essendon, easy. Port, against Soldo, easy. And Gold Coast, this one was actually against Witt. So I had a look. That was against Witt. It wasn't against Ned Moyle. So it was impressive. Potential average, I'm going to go 130. I'm not going to go the 144 that it says there. Actually, you know what? I'll be even more conservative. We'll go 125. And where does that price him out to? 6. Let's go 120 just because I don't want to overcook, how much value he is. I want to be somewhat. Actually, you know what? I wasn't conservative with Philipou. So you know what? We're gonna go 125, and that's a 668. That's a Max Gawn price. So there's clear value there for de Koning as well. The next one, Caleb Daniel. Now, I feel like I hardly have to really talk about this one, but let's just put the numbers into context. So he's a 269 boy. 269 boy. Price to average at 50. We'll round that up there. 50 average. Let's have a look. We're going to look at him, but we're going to look at some other players as well, just for even more context. Caleb Daniel, the helmet, plays for my team as well, which is quite nice. Let's scroll down. So for him, we're going to look at his previous year. So before his 52 average year, 92, 91, 94, 104, 99. So look, I think we can easily say 90 there, I'm just going to say 90 as a potential average. But then another player that we can look at is Zeebs. Let's have a look when Zeebs wants to come up. It's annoying that this is a bit slow. Am I connected to the right internet here? What's going on here? Anyway, that's not too bad. All right, he's here. We'll look at his last few seasons. So the seasons where he had kick-ins, right? So 105 here, 90, and this was his last season. So, this is an old, slow Jack Zeeble. And then another year here, 107, which is crazy. So Zeebs is one to look, you can sort of predict Caleb scoring based on that. I guess in that season where Zeebs was killing it, that 107 season, probably factor in that Zeeble can intercept a little bit as well. So maybe that might have given him a little bit more points than what Caleb Daniel might have. And another one here, Aaron Hall, 105 in that same, it might have been even that same season. 105, 97, 88. So like a 95, I don't think he's crazy for Caleb Daniel, which would put him, scroll all the way up, that puts him at about a 5'10", 5'15" range. So priced at 269K, 5'15", and this, I think that's probably conservative, to be honest with you, a 95 from him, considering he's going to be taking a lot of kick-ins. And my hope is for North is that we don't go with a Fisher type or a Macrae in halfback. I hope that we go for a bigger body, and that might mean we're not going to look for that player as much, because I think when we played with Kirch and Fisher together last season, we were really susceptible down back. Maybe a Tucker goes there, or I don't know, maybe Luke McDonald is the next, and Jackson Archer, for example, maybe they're the next shortest players, in the defense. And we don't have to worry about, being exposed for size. But anyway, that's a North Melbourne diversion there. I digress. Will Ashcroft. Now, going to the midfield, Will Ashcroft. We're going to add him in. He's priced average at 81, and he's a 441K player. Now, with him, we know what he did in the grand final, and we're not just going to pick him based off the fact that he's a Norm Smith medalist. Like, we know it was a very impressive performance, but with him, scroll down. All right, here we go. So the thing with him, we'll click all these games, these last few games where he started playing well. So what round was that? So 22 onwards, that's when the good Supercoach scores started happening. So that's a 107 average from, that's 7 games. So a solid sample size. Now, the only issue with him is there was the games before this, and he averaged 66 in these games. So, like, what Ashcroft are we going to get? Are we going to get 107 Ashcroft? Or are we going to get 66 Ashcroft? I don't think we can. Can you really expect 107 out of the guy? He's got the pedigree, obviously. You know what I mean? He's got good genes, which is a good start for him. But I don't know if that 107 that we talked about, which would be making him a 575K player, I don't know if it's possible. And let's say it's a 100. Let's say it's a 100 that he gets, right? At that point, he's in this echelon of midfielders, a 550, it's almost like a 540K. The value is not exactly there, right? But the other thing with these type of players, right, is particularly with Ashcroft and Philipou and the Koning, is that these guys can improve, obviously. Caleb Daniel, we know sort of what to expect from him, but these dudes have that, that they're young on their side. So there could be just the natural progression that boosts higher than this 100, right? But anyway, so I've written down Andrew Brayshaw here now. Someone that I'm keen on due to the fact that if we look at his previous season, he didn't start that well, but the end of the season, he ended up doing a lot better than Sarong, which, I don't know if that carries on to this year, Does that just mean that Caleb Sarong's a fast starter and Brayshaw needs time to, work his way into the season? Perhaps that's the case. But let's have a look. So we'll go post-buy, which is, 14 onwards. Post-buy, average is 116. Now, where does that take him? So he's priced average at 109 and his price is 591. And his potential average, what was it? 116, which would put him up to... That'll put him up to about... So the Isaac Heaney, Treloar, and Sarong range, so 625k. Is that really worth it for a value pick? Probably not, but I think with the players that are a bit more expensive, to find values a bit harder. I just kind of wanted to put that in there, that perhaps he's a bit underpriced. Now, Matt Roberts, he's a defender for about 434k, I believe. There he is, 434k. Priced average at 80, 434k. Now with him, great moneymaker for us last year. That was he was excellent. A good role. That was very good for our cash gen. But now with him, he had a bit of a purple patch towards the end of last year, and where the numbers were astronomical, right? So he had a little stint in the VFL. First game back, subbed, no kick-ins, but then the kick-ins came back and he did that 111 average apart from those last 3 games, which is the final series. So even, if we add those in, it's still a 98, right? So even then it's still value, but then what were these 3 games? Why did he do so bad? I can't remember, to be honest with you. It was a while ago. I can't remember why he was so bad, but that 111, it's nothing to scoff at. So we're gonna go that 98. I'm gonna go 98 for him as a potential average. Maybe that's conservative. Who knows? And that's 532. That's a 532, priced. So there's clear value there. And obviously, if he was to do that 111, he's top 5. And that's almost a 600k player. So look, that's one to look at. I'm just not sure with him, to be honest with you. Say there's a dude that they brought in, Riley Bice. I'm not saying that he's going to take his spot, obviously, but there's a mature age player there that maybe comes in, maybe takes kick-ins, maybe, provides more, is another avenue, to provide dash for him. There's Jake Lloyd still there. There's Florent who runs down there. There's Blakey, slightly different player, but I don't know if the role is all Roberts, but if it is, the value is there. Anyway, next player, Bailey Smith. Another dude I'm not overly keen on, just because he's got the extra buy round, but so he's priced average around 72, and he's a 389k player. All right, now let's get our boy Bailey Smith up and see what he can do. So for him, we don't have any sample size over the last year at all. So because he didn't play, obviously, but when he did play. And actually, the year before that, he was playing on the wing. So he had his CBAs, dropped in the 2023 season. But if we look at the 2 seasons prior to that, or the 3 seasons prior to that, 91, 89, 99, that could be let's say it's a 90, a 93. Let's be slightly conservative. We'll go 93 because I feel like we don't know if he's going to be full time in the middle for Geelong, but let's just say it's that. And at that point, he's priced to average 500. At that point, he's top 4, top 5 sort of players. Pretty good. But yeah, there's other options in the forward line, as we can see here with Daniel and Philipou, that I prefer, and that's probably why I won't pick him. Let's just chuck him in there for now. Bailey Smith. Now, next one, Shai Bolton, who is not too much further here, 416. So Shai Bolton, 416k. Price to average 77. Now, with him, the concern for me with Bolton is his role, because Fremantle have a much better midfield depth than what Richmond have. Obviously, there's the obvious ones: Sarong, Brayshaw, who we talked about earlier, Hayden Young, and then there's dudes, Matt Johnson as well is perhaps an option that they might try to get in there. And they don't really have the most small forward options. I don't think they've got Switkowski, who's all right. He's a pretty decent small forward. But, like if you have Shai Bolton down there at all times, you're pretty happy. The 2023 season averaged 96, then 85, 84. So there's, let's say 90 is his potential average, which would bring him up. Actually, it's the same, similar to Bailey Smith. But no, 485. It becomes 485 there. Yeah, I don't know if there's enough value there to go for him, but that's just it's just another option that we have to look at. And who knows, maybe he gets way more CBAs than I'm expecting anyway, and he can go even higher than that. So anyway, next player, trying to squeeze the pennies here a little bit, with these 500k, these more expensive midfielders. But John Newcombe is a guy who I'm a big fan of, and so with him, priced average at 98, 529k. Now let's have a look at the way he ended the season. Now, bear in mind, this was without another one of my favourite boys, Will Day, who is possibly their best midfielder, Will Day. I think John Newcombe's their most consistent, but let's have a little look. So the end of the season, and we'll include the finals because why not? Let's have a look. We'll go up to the bye. 112 up to the bye. So that's pretty solid. And look at the I love that they added the Brownlow votes here as well, man. So it shows that the impact that they do have, in the eyes of the umpires, but it's something. 112 post buys. With him, he did this to us last year, John Newcombe. So I don't know if it's really worth the gamble, but that would bring him up to 600k. That's 60. We'll go 60. We'll go the 602 there that Dunkley has. Value there. And I don't think, or do they? They may have an early buy. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they might have an early buy, which makes me consider him less. Anyway, now there's a couple, maybe a little surprise there for you guys. Maybe Archie Roberts. But anyway, we're gonna have a look at James Peatling first. He's priced average at 65, 352k. 65, 352k. This one I'm actually pretty keen on as well, to be honest with you, but it all depends on what role he gets. Usually when you go to a new team, they try to take care of you and they'll give you the role that you signed up for, but then that's not guaranteed. Let's be fair, it's not guaranteed at all. But we'll have a look at the numbers that he had as a CBA mid, and full games as well. Let's have a look here. So those were sub games. So 89 on, when he had solid CBAs. That's very solid. That's a 24 above his average. We'll go 89 there. And I'm hitting games that even weren't too good either. So here was 32% CBAs, here 42, so a little bit less. The only concern with picking a guy like Peatling is just, will he get that time in the midfield to show his stuff in that team? So 481, about 481k is his price. Is he enough value? I don't know, but look, it's a decent little option. If you're trying to go for mid prices and spread the love with with the high scores around the ground, I think Peatling's a pretty decent option. Now Archie Roberts. I saw someone post this, or someone mentioned this in somewhere. I don't know. I saw it somewhere. Where is he? He's about 3. Probably missed him here. Here we go. 338k. So he's priced average, even though he averaged 78, he's priced average around 63. He's 338k. Now, it's an interesting thing with him because I don't know if he has the role, but when he does have the role of being, you know, a free running halfback, it's pretty good. So I'll show you the stats, and it's a very low sample size. I'll be honest with you, but we'll bring it up. So 4 games at the end of the year, so average of the 78. But we look at the games here. Look at this one. I don't know why my internet's so slow. I don't know if it's because I have the ad blocker running or something. Yeah, let's open them all up. Let's open up all the heat maps. There we go. So this is the first game that he played. Bit of everywhere, running around everywhere. A bit of a wing, as we can see. Same here, a little bit more action up on the wing, right? Those are the first 2 games he played. Then, once these guys want to load, this one's gone first. All right, there we go. So the last round, getting a lot more ball at the halfback line, and this one even more. Look at this, man. This is beautiful. This is what you want to see. You know, designated kicker type vibes. There we go for Archie Roberts. And so those last 2 games, the average is 96. You know, I can't see him getting that. You know, look, let's just say he has the role and we say it's a 90 average, right? Let's say, I doubt it, but let's just say it is. Essendon supporters are going to have to remind me, with these 2 dead rubber games, did you guys have players out? Like, why did this happen? You know, explain this to me, you know, and, you know, talk me out of picking Archie Roberts. A 90 puts him at a 490k player, you know, or 487. There you go, 487. Value there, 150k value there. Further down, Matty Flynn. He's a rock. I forgot to let's give Roberts the respect and then put him in there. So we're only getting Roberts in the defense this year. Let's have a look. Cheeky Flynn, 261. What would his average price to average be? What am I doing here? Flynn, price to average at about... None of these guys have played enough games for me to use them as an example. So it's less than Cox. So his price to average around, let's say it's about 55. Let's say it's 55, and he's 261k. Let's have a look at Flynn. With Flynn, it was a bit weird. So he played a bit last year, didn't really make the role his own. Injury-prone guy. This one's it's a bit of a risk, but if you want to just chuck him in your flex position, you know, high risk, high reward, it's not the worst situation. So 2023 averaged 88 and then 84 and 87, you know, in the 3 years that he played games for GWS. So 9 games, 12 games, 12 games. So he doesn't play a hell of a lot of games. It's not a huge sample size, but let's say it's 85. And where would that get him up to? That would get him up to 462. So that's 200k value right there. So kind of cool. That's an option. I've got a team that I'll show you guys at the end. If you guys are, you know, for those of you who've watched the whole video, I'll show at the end what the last safe team is. It's really quite bad. It's just I've tried to fill it up with a lot of these guys. But yeah. Anyway, I digress. Isaac Cumming. Let's get him up here. Midfield, he's about 267, I believe, or 287. There you go, 287. Price to average at about 53, 52. So price to average 53, and his current price 287k. Let's go back, trip down memory lane. Look at this, 90. Basically, the years where he gets kick-ins, 94, 90. You know, so I don't know the role that he's going to get at Adelaide. He might not get that role. They might just chuck him out on the wing like Adelaide did. And even then, he might have a little bit of value, but not enough to take up a midfield spot, I would say. So, Isaac Cumming, let's say he gets kick-ins, best case scenario, 90, and he gets a 90. That's a lot of value. There's a lot of value in the midfield. 487 about 487k, something like that. 200k, for a little stepping stone. That'd be pretty sweet. I keep forgetting to add them in. There he is back in there. All right, next one, as we can see, I've got spoilers on the side here. Keidean Coleman is in there, so he's priced at 269. And so what is that? What is that priced average? 269 is about 50. 269k. It's kind of cool that he and Caleb Daniel are the same price. There we go. I think that's symbolic that we all have to start both of them. I reckon it would be the bravest decision to not, pick either of these guys, to be honest with you. I think of all these value picks, they're just gimmies, to be honest with you. For me, then also Philipou is a gimme personally, but I don't know. We need a bit more information over the preseason. Anyway, previous years for him, he had an 87 one year. He went down in 2023, and I remember this very specifically because I had him in draft, and I thought this is a great pick that year, and it just didn't end up that way. Even worse was who was it? I think Perry picked him last year in our draft, and he that would have been a great pick for him, but that just didn't work out. So 87 he averaged for his good year. Let's have a look. So he in the final. There we go. It was in the final. Look at this. Look at this little last period here. We'll go. Should we go post buys? Oh no, that was a sub affected game. Let's go these games onwards. 85. Pretty solid, man. Pretty solid. I would take that. I'd definitely take that. And at 85, what's he priced? What would his price be? Where's the value? 460. Yeah. Not quite as good a value as Caleb Daniel, but I think at this stage it's looking easier to fill forward positions, in my opinion, than it is to fill, the cheaper defensive positions. Like I'm less sure about Roberts squared. I'm less sure about Colby McKercher just because I don't know how much run he's going to get into the, in the CBAs. Will he just be wing, and how long does he need to get better at that position? Anyway, I digress again. An old favorite here, an old favorite. I don't really need to go into what he could, I don't need to go into DFSA to show you what he can do. We all know what Clary can do. He's priced average at 83, 451k. His potential average is 120, and he's done that 3 times. He's done that 3 times as early as 2023, or as recent rather as 2023. That is 650k. We're just going to round it. I'm just going to round it up. 650k. That's value is insane here for Clary, but we know Clary. We know that he's a cheeky boy. So can we really pick him? I don't know. I'd like to though. I really do want to. I'm ready for pain again with Clary. Now the next one is funny enough. Even though Track, we think of him as a more solid player, and that he's better than Clary. Supercoach wise, he's not. But it's still value at 556k. Let's have a look at Track's numbers, right? It's kind of weird that that's the case, but then with Track, he goes forward at points. He uses his class rather than numbers and accumulation. 118, 109, 114, 117. So it's not as strong. Excuse me, but it's still a potential 115 for him, and that would price him up at 620, and it would be a top 10 mid. You can't really complain. You can't really complain with that. And then the last one, Callum Mills, another defender. So now that I'm looking at these defender options, it's actually not too bad. So his priced average is 73, and his price is 357. We've got to add him in. And I forgot to add a little cheeky Track. Where is he? We've added Track. We've added Clary. We've added Coleman. There we go. Let's have a look at what Mills can do. Now, this is a guy who is a All-Australian. So obviously, when given the role, he can perform at a high level. It's not like we're going to forget about him because, we've got Goulden and Warner and Heaney now. We still have to give this guy his respect. Look at this 115, 112, 101, but it's been a while. It's been a while since he's done that. Let's just say that let's say potential average is a 95. This is very role dependent, obviously. Where does that put him value-wise? That puts him at 514. It's not bad. Not bad at all, man. I don't know if he can do it, to be honest with you. I don't. I think we need to understand what the role is going to be, because if he goes into the defense as well, that also affects what Roberts is doing. So there's a bit to play out there. But anyway, the video's gone for 30 minutes now. I'm going to need a glass of water soon from all the talking. But look, here are some nice little. These are some nice little value options for you guys next year. Let me know. Do you want me to send you, or do you want me to put in the comments this little spreadsheet? Well, not really spreadsheet. This little write-up over here might be interesting for you guys. But you can see the clear value here for Philipou. That's 220k right there. 140 there for the Koning, and potential of, elite scoring. Caleb Daniel, clear value there. Ashcroft, less so, but still. The thing is with Ashcroft, can he go to the next level? That's really what it is. Because 106 that he averaged, is very good, that last period of the season, but hard to tell. Brayshaw, a little bit less, but, if you, fine margins here at that part of, for those type of players. Matt Roberts, value there. Bailey Smith, value, but has that extra buy. Shai Bolton, not as much, but he does have a better buy round because it's the St Kilda Freo buy round. Newcombe, a little bit of value there. Peatling, I like that one too. And he actually has a decent buy round, if I'm not mistaken, as well. It's one of the later ones. So you can hold him until, the round 12 buy, and then you can get one of those round 12 guys. Mattaes Flynn, clear value there, but really risky proposition there. Cumming, we don't know about the role yet, but there's clear value there. Coleman, one of the best picks this year. Clary, you could probably swap these potential averages right there for sure. Clary, clear value with Clary, but we just don't know about him. Petracca, Mills. Anyway, look, those are the little value picks that I've got. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit refresh on my browser, and that's the wrong one. That's the wrong. We're going to hit refresh, and you're going to see what I have put together as this is my team reveal. Honestly, this is just me playing around, and I don't really expect that it's going to look anywhere near like this. I haven't really done my buy round preparations like I'd like to, and also we don't know who the best rookies are. So a lot of these value picks, we're gonna make this a bit bigger. A lot of these value picks are there that I've shown you guys. There we go. Coleman's one of them. Brayshaw's one of them. Track, Oliver, Peatling, and Cumming. The Koning's there. Flynn's there. One thing I do want to say, Philipou, Daniel. One little thing I want to add. I forgot to talk about Macrae. Oh, geez, that's dumb. Macrae's value. I don't know. I don't need to explain that one. Macrae's value. I forgot about that one. Anyway, shout out Macrae. Look, with this flex position, this is just me rambling now. Everyone's putting an extra rookie there, right? I don't see the point in that, because if I have, say, if you want to go Gawn, Sherry, De Koning, right? If you want to do that, or Sherry, De Koning, Flynn, for example, it makes sense because you can add a ruck player who has value there. If you put a rookie there, that rookie could just be in the forward line or in the midfield. So what's the point? I don't understand it. And the other cool thing is, say if someone gets injured, say a Flynn gets injured, we can sub him there, and then we can have that rookie there. You get what I'm saying? There's more flexibility with having that ruck there. I think people are, they're getting a little bit too finesse here. The only benefit in my eyes of the flex position is having an extra ruck or having an extra player in a position. Say by the end of the year, you want to have, instead of 8 midfielders, you have 9. That's the only benefit to me. It's all about getting that extra player of a certain position in. And at this time of the year, you can't have 9 primo midfielders, but you can have 3, primo or at least mid-price rucks. Anyway, there's my little rant done. Thank you guys if you got this far in the video. enjoyed making this. It's really nice that the team picker has come out, and I can spend way too much time preparing for next year. But anyway, if you like the video, hit the sub, like, all that. Suss out our All Australians video. That was actually a lot of fun and really cool. And maybe it might give you some insight into who to pick for Supercoach as well. So anyway, thank you very much. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.